Hi, this is Mike. I'm reading Robert Alter's translation of Genesis, chapter 29. And Jacob lifted his feet and went on to the land of the Easterners. And he saw, and look, there was a well in the field. And look, 3 flocks of sheep were lying beside it, for from that well they would water the flocks. And the stone was big on the mouth of the well. And when all the flocks had gathered there, they would roll the stone from the mouth of the well, and would water the sheep, and put back the stone in its place on the mouth of the well. And Jacob said to them, My brothers, where are you from? And they said, We are from Haran. And he said to them, Do you know Laban, son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said to them, Is he well? And they said, He is well, and look, Rachel his daughter is coming with the sheep. And he said, Look, the day is still long. It is not time to gather in the herd. Water the sheep and take them to graze. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks have gathered, and the stone is rolled from the mouth of the well, and we water the sheep. He was still speaking with them when Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it happened, when Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that he stepped forward and rolled the stone from the mouth of the well and watered the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's kin and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. And it happened when Laban heard the report of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran toward him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he recounted to Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Indeed, you are my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him a month's time. And Laban said to Jacob, Because you are my kin, should you serve me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. And Leah's eyes were tender, but Rachel was comely in features, and comely to look at. And Jacob loved Rachel. And he said, I will serve 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, Better I should give her to you than give her to another man. Stay with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed in his eyes but a few days in his love for her. And Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wife, for my time is done, and let me come to bed with her. And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. And when evening came, he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and he came to bed with her. And Laban gave Zilpah his slave girl to Leah his daughter as her slave girl. And when morning came, look, she was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? And why have you deceived me? And Laban said, It is not done thus in our place to give the younger girl before the firstborn. Finish out the bridal week of this one, and we shall give you the other as well, for the service you render me, for still another 7 years. And so Jacob did. And when he finished out the bridal week of the one, he gave him Rachel his daughter as wife. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his slave girl as her slave girl. And he came to bed with Rachel too, and indeed loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served him still another 7 years. And Yahweh saw that Leah was despised, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Reuben, for she said, Yes, Yahweh has seen my suffering, for now my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bore a son, and she said, Yes, Yahweh has heard I was despised, and he has given me this one too. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bore a son. And she said, This time at last my husband will join me, for I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore is his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bore a son, and she said, This time I sing praise to Yahweh. Therefore she called his name Judah, and she ceased bearing children.